Good morning, good morning. Welcome to another round of reading sprints. It is currently 8:30 a.m. in the morning. I'm sorry if I look a little bit tired. Actually, the last 4 days had a lot in mind. It wasn't a good time, and also it was kind of hard sometimes. So let's just start with saying that on New Year's Eve, December 31, it was a really good day. I did some uh, unpacking of gifts with a friend from the US. She might be in the chat or not, I don't know, but honestly, it is like 2 2 a.m. in the morning where she lives, so I don't think she's going to be here right now. And yeah, we did the unpacking because we sent each other a package full of different stuff, basically candy from our countries, but also some other stuff to use whenever you feel like using it. And we had a great time unpacking it. I think we chat for about 4 hours that morning until like the early afternoon hours for me. And again, the day was totally fine. My boyfriend and I, we had a call later on that day and we watched the current Ghosts TV show. We totally love that show. And yeah, we watched about 3 episodes, and then it was time for me to go outside, do my farm chores like every single day. And therefore, we had to end our call. And I personally thought that the day was fine, there was nothing bad about it. I honestly didn't even think that it could go worse or, something bad could happen later on because for me, nothing really was on the plan anymore except for making sure to wind down before bed and having a relaxed evening. So I ended up actually finishing Jackal. So the book you currently see on the screen is not the book that I'm reading anymore. I just haven't updated it yet. And yeah, I finished reading it that evening. And at around 10 p.m., I was done. I was ready for bed. I was actually already laying in bed reading. And then the only thing that I tried to do was looking at my phone to see if my alarm for the next morning was set and then go to sleep. But then my boyfriend called me and his voice was really strange. And I was like, okay, what happened? What is going on? Because originally he was out with his mom and his brother at his mom's house for dinner because he was invited for dinner. And he was really excited all day long for this dinner. This dinner party basically. Just the three of them having a nice dinner. He was really excited for it. And so I thought, okay, what happened? Why does he sound like that? Did something bad happen? Or did I not really see anything? Did I miss something? Yeah, so this might get a little bit disgusting at this point, but basically, he told me he is having the heaviest diarrhea that he ever had, straight up just pissing out of his ass at this point, and he wasn't able to leave the toilet anymore, or he had to go to the toilet within less than 5 minutes all the time. So this was really stressful because he had to take care of our cats and also his rabbits. And so the animals inside of his apartment were already going crazy because of the loud banging noises outside. And, they weren't slowing down anymore. So it was already time to hit the record and shoot the rocket up in the sky. So it was louder and louder outside with every 30 minutes passing, up until midnight, of course. And his animals were going crazy, but he wasn't feeling good at all. And he came back from that dinner 30 minutes ago, and then all of this happened. Now, his brother also had to vomit all the time. So his brother texted him telling him that he is non-stop vomiting and can't stop ever since that dinner. So originally we thought, okay, maybe something was bad. Maybe the fish that they were having wasn't good anymore. But that wasn't the case, because the next morning we heard from his two sisters who don't live at home anymore. They weren't part of that dinner party, that they have it as well. So his whole family, except for me and his mom, were sick for the last 2 or 3 days starting on New Year's Eve. So basically, what that meant was it wasn't a good start into the new year for his complete family. And also, we had to change our plans, because originally my boyfriend and I, we were going to hang out today and had a few plans on what we were going to do. Basically, just relaxing, continue to watch Ghosts, and having a nice, relaxing Sunday. And yeah, those plans are canceled now, because for everyone who doesn't know this about me, I got really sick in 2023 and basically nearly died from having the flu, because it was affecting my body way too much. And ever since I had that, my body is having issues with recovering from whenever I get sick. And so it takes longer than it would take normally to recover from a sickness. And ever since then, I'm afraid of bacteria. I like to be around a very clear environment, and therefore I need to clean very often just to feel safe in my own house, my own room. And ever since then, I'm also really careful and also kind of afraid being around people who are having a sickness or have just the mildest, slightest symptoms that they can have. So I always have to be really, really careful. And therefore, I told my boyfriend, you know what? Even though you feel better today and you don't have diarrhea anymore, I still don't feel like it's the best idea to meet up straight away, just because if I still get it after we meet up and end up being sick within the next week, then I have a huge problem. And he knows that we are not able to see each other within like a full month whenever I get sick. So I really try to don't get sick and make sure I don't hang out with people who have been fighting a sickness or had really bad symptoms. And also, what makes this case a little bit more concerning is that everyone in his family got sick within a really short time. And on December 30th, we actually celebrated my 25th birthday over at my boyfriend's apartment, and his whole family was there, and they were all still fine. So I don't know why they all ended up getting sick so fast within like 24 hours, especially that it was hitting them so fast. Hello, Tina. Nice to see you here. So yeah, New Year's Eve, the day was fine, my birthday was fine, but at around 10 p.m. that day, everything went bad and has been bad ever since. Also, on January 1st, our heating system in our house literally decided to just shut down and not work anymore. So it's been 4 days of living in a cold house because the heating system doesn't work anymore and I have to make a fire in the oven. However, I can't do a fire in the oven when I sleep, so the house is cooling down really fast every single night. And so it is cold in the morning. that's why I sit here with a blanket and also my hot water bottle, just because it is still really cold and, it is early in the morning, so it is rough right now. I was therefore really excited and grateful for the idea that I ordered some blankets, these blankets right here, for our couch because we don't have like blankets for our couch. We do have blankets, but for some reason I can't find them anymore. And also, they're like really, really old and full of dog hairs that you can't really get out of the fabric anymore. And so I thought, you know what? I'm gonna buy a pack of blankets for the couch so that we have couch blankets. And right now, I do need them. So it's been an insane start into 2026, even though for me personally, the year started out great and I didn't get sick, even though I spent time with my boyfriend and his family on my birthday a day before they all got sick really fast for some reason. So yeah, I'm still doing good. It's just cold, but I have a really big cup of coffee right here. I actually got this from Tina, so thanks Tina for that really big mug, because I need it right now. And honestly, I don't think I told you that before, but uh, I was able to use your fake socks that you got me that you can use as slippers. And I have been wearing them on January 1st, straight up first thing in the morning because it was so cold. And also, I wore them yesterday just because they are really nice. And the only way to not freeze actually while uh, walking around and doing stuff. All right, I see the comments. However, I can't pull them up on the screen because I am streaming from OBS Studio. So, okay, let me read. Yeah, they didn't stop the fire at night, but they were already shooting rockets and everything before it was even midnight. So apparently, my sister told me it was going on up until like 3:30 in the morning. However, I fell asleep literally 5 minutes after midnight and didn't wake up anymore. So I was probably just really tired from all of the stress, and I was already ready for bed 2 hours before that. So I guess I just totally blacked out and didn't wake up, even though people were like shooting stuff out there. But also, a lot of people in Germany got really, really bad injured because they are just too stupid to, you know, read the safety measurements on that thing before they shoot it up in the air. So, of course, they're gonna blow off their hand or a finger just because they don't even read it anymore. Um, I really like the candy. So far, I have tried the Jolly Ranchers and I really love them. And I also tried the peanut butter M&Ms. I opened them 2 days ago. I had some of them on January 2nd and yesterday. I really like those. And they are bigger than the ones that we have in Germany. I've never seen that big of like an M&M. That is crazy to me. So I'm really enjoying them. And yeah, I mean, you love candy, so of course it's basically gone. But it's good that you like it. So my selection was actually a good selection then. Yeah, I do love that candy as well. Um, so that's why I packed you some of my favorite candy. But still, it is sad that you can't get the candy you got me and the candy I got you in your own country. Like, why isn't it possible to ship those candies all over the world and make them available everywhere if we can get other things on every single store at any place on the world? Like, I could go buy an iPhone in most countries, literally. Yeah, maybe it is the normal size of M&Ms for you guys, but in Germany they are way smaller. They're like half of that. So I was really shocked to see, okay, those M&Ms are actually bigger than I thought they would be when I opened the box. So we don't have that here in Germany. At least not where I live. I haven't seen that big of an M&M before. So yeah, I'm really enjoying them. Um, I'm gonna have a few of them later on. I still have a few of them in the box, but I haven't had breakfast yet. I still have my coffee to drink first. What about peanut M&Ms in Germany? Um, Honestly, I don't know. Um, I don't think I ever had these. I mean, we only have the ones with the hold on, with the like full whole peanut inside, and they are bigger. However, they are not flat, so they look totally different. They're not flat. They're more like bulky or bulky. So yeah, that is what we have. But they are not cheap here. So we have these off-brand peanut butter or peanut M&Ms, and they do taste very good. And whenever we get some of them, it's always the off-brand. I mean, I tried the crispy M&Ms as well as the normal chocolate ones. And like I said, the off-brand M&Ms with the whole peanut inside, I also tried these. I actually have a bag of these in the fridge right now because I got them for Christmas as well. Um, but I don't think I had the M&Ms with the peanut yet. I don't know, actually. I don't know because they are really pricey here and my parents never buy these at all. So I honestly don't know. I just need to drink my coffee while it's still hot. At least the fire is now going. Weird thing this morning. Um, Whenever I wake up, I straight try to make a fire. However, within the last 3 days, the oven was always cold when I woke up, and therefore I had to start from scratch. Now, this morning, I actually had some leftovers of burning ashes inside of the oven. So I was like really surprised because that is the first time that happened. Normally the oven is cold. So I don't know if my sister actually made a fire before she left this morning or if just the oven was still hot for some reason. I honestly don't know why there was still burning ashes in there. So making a fire this morning was actually way easier. But I also have this heater that you just plug into the outlet and basically you can heat it up that way. I have that running right now in the living room. I found it yesterday and I thought, you know what? I need that. I need to use it just because it is so cold in this house and there's no way that it's going to be heating up just because of making a fire. So all day long, I basically have to make sure that two ovens in the house are running. I have to put in fresh wood every single hour. And my stupid sister, she had nothing better to do on January 2nd than to empty all of the wood and basically just leave it empty instead of just going outside on the terrace where my dad prepared fresh wood that we can use, and we just have to bring it into the house. It would be like 10 steps to grab the wood and bring it to the oven to refill our inside stock of wood. She didn't do it. So yesterday I had to basically make sure to feed the ovens with fresh wood every single hour so that no fire is running out. And also I had to refill the wood upstairs and downstairs just because my sister doesn't care about it. So I already checked downstairs. The wood is empty again. She didn't fill it up, although there is new wood outside because I refilled it yesterday. So yeah, I have to do that later on. But as of right now, I don't care. I'm going to heat up the upstairs apartment. I don't care about the downstairs apartment because honestly, I'm not the only one alone here. And I'm not the only one who has to do all of this. I already have to basically run the farm on my own and, wash laundry, do the kitchen, run the farm, and do everything that needs to be done on our farm. Also, I have to check the ovens, and we don't have hot running water yet. So I also have to boil water and fill it into those cups so that I have hot water or at least warm water all day long and don't have to boil water all the time. And my sister, the only thing that she's doing is basically making sure we are running out of toilet paper in the toilet and not refilling it after she's emptying it. She's also ruining the kitchen because she's not cleaning up her stuff. We literally have stuff standing in the kitchen from Thursday. So she didn't clean it up yet, and I'm not doing it either because I clean my own dishes, and so can she because she's 23 years old. She should be able to do it. And yeah, also she's emptying out the inside stock of wood and doesn't refill it. Like, girl, I can't do all of those things all day long, and you just think like, oh, I'm living in a hotel. I get the service. She's cleaning my dishes. She's refilling the wood. She's refilling the toilet paper. She's washing my laundry. No, I'm not. Like, come on. All she did was basically just dumping all of her dirty laundry into the laundry room on the floor, like I'm about to wash it. Girl, the washing machine was empty and ready to use the last 7 days. You could have just washed your own laundry and now you will have fresh laundry. I washed my laundry yesterday, so my laundry is already drying, or nearly dry actually, and I don't need to wash it anymore. But just dumping it into the laundry room, like, come on, who do you think is doing all of this? But that is a problem because of my dad, because he's like really just doing all of those things for my sisters, and so they never really learn how to do their own stuff. And basically, my dad is cleaning every single dish the second she's putting them into the kitchen. She's also not learning how to wash her laundry because all she needs to do is put it into the laundry room and my parents will wash it. My mom also washes my laundry, but I have to bring it downstairs and, basically sort it on my own before she washes it. She never does that. There's basically a whole pile of dirty laundry, colorful white clothing, dark clothing, not even sorted. I'm not touching that dirty laundry. Like, disgusting. I'm afraid of bacteria. I'm not touching that. I'm sorry, but I literally just can't. So, yeah, it's been a rough minute. And basically, I need to refill that wood later on. Thank God I already prepared it yesterday. Otherwise, I would have to literally go outside and grab wood from the other end of the property. So, thank God I did that yesterday. So, yeah. I already texted my mom about the stupid behavior of my sister, and that if my parents come back and the house looks like trash, it's not because of me, it's because of my sister not doing anything. And I don't even understand how she can live like that, because I like it clean. I don't like having to pick up things and, get rid of things all the goddamn time, basically, because I like it clean. I don't even have to clean up my room that often, because I literally clean it up every single time, every single day. The second I used something, it's gonna be back where it actually belongs. And that way, my room is always clean, and I don't need 2 hours to clean up my room. It takes like 2 minutes, and that's it. But my sister probably never learns it. And this morning, I actually woke up at like shortly after 5 a.m. because my sister was running through the house, being really loud with the doors and everything. I don't even know why, but she left again. So I have to do the fire part again for literally every floor in the house. So today is gonna be fun. Can't wait. But as of right now, I'm gonna have my coffee. I'm going to do some reading. And I literally just don't care about any other floor in this house. I'm gonna do that whenever I feel like it, because it is just not my business. And one person alone on a farm is like already enough work you need to do. So I have to set my priorities a little bit different, and therefore don't have time to care for literally everything. I just care about the things that I need to do. I care about the animals, and I just clean up behind myself. I don't clean up behind my sister. So I guess I should stay that way, because otherwise it's going to be way more work than I can actually do. So I guess we're just sticking with that plan for today. And also, I spent like the last 4 hours of yesterday with just cleaning and washing laundry, making a fire, and all of that. So I guess I did enough. I did the hardest parts that needed to be done. And today I can take it easy because it's a Sunday. And if my sister thinks she has to leave, even though she also has stuff to do in this house, then all right, your apartment is not gonna be clean and it's not gonna be warm either. So I'm sorry, but I can't do all of this. I literally just can't. I can't just run through the house all day long, not doing what I want to do, just running after her and doing her chores as well. No, I'm not. So this might sound rude and selfish, but I don't care. I literally need to care about myself, and I can't just run through the whole house all day long from one end to the other end doing other people's stuff. So I'm done with that. Can't wait until my parents are back and see how everything went down just because of my sister. So honestly, I want to see that reaction. I want to see them telling her that her behavior is totally wrong and that it needs to be fixed. Hopefully. Yeah, no, I'm on your perspective. That's totally fair. Yes, it is. Because what am I supposed to do? Like, come on, she's nearly 24 years old and she still can't do anything. I'm the one having a disability. I'm the one struggling with a lot of things. And I'm still the one who has to literally make sure the whole house is warm and I have to do all of the things in here. Yeah, no. Not happening because I need to care about myself, and I can't do all of that. Yeah. I feel like the youngest children or the youngest child, they get like a really less hard way of how people teach them how life works. Basically, the parents just soften up a little bit, but I'm the first child out of three, and I was growing up the hard way. I always had to do everything on my own. No one was helping me. Like, I was being treated like the black sheep in the family, and no one really cared about what I did and how I did it. They only cared about you need to do it right now. Just figure it out your own way. And I'm the one with a disability. I should be like the one with getting the most help. Or am I wrong with thinking that? But I I always hear that, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you need to grow out of this, you need to grow up and do that. Um, they always just say the bad things that I still can't do, or the things are mentioned like I'm struggling a lot with those things, but they don't really tell anything about the things that I'm good at. So it's always just seeing the bad things that I'm still not good at or still can't really do. They don't really care about the good parts, but at least I can wash my own laundry. At least I can heat up the house. At least I can feed the chickens and the rabbit and make sure they don't die on us. At least I can run a whole farm on my own. At least I can fill up the wood and literally uh, carry heavy wood around, even though it is way too heavy for me and I shouldn't do that. But it's just what you have to do. If you live alone, there are things you need to do. And my sister, she's not getting that. So, yeah, I hope my parents fix that. However, before my coffee runs cold, I would like to start the first sprint, um, and also get a little bit of breakfast done as well in the sprint. I am going to listen to a podcast actually within the first sprint. Um, it's this episode right here. It's a German podcast. I am like 15 and a half minutes in and I have 40 minutes left. So I will be listening to this podcast episode for a while I'm having coffee and breakfast. And yeah, let's see how far I can go today. And yeah, I will be doing that. I also need to drink more water and get my day started. And yeah, check if the fire is still going. But I can see it from here and it's still burning really good. So I feel like I'm doing everything right. And yeah, I am totally right about the disability thing. Just because I'm growing up doesn't mean I can grow out of that disability. Because I will have that disability for the rest of my life. And I already had it for the past 25 years of my life. So, yeah. But I grew up that way. I don't know it any different. I honestly have a hard time with my dad being nice because all I knew for the past, I don't know, 24 years and 6 months, he wasn't nice to me and it was always a struggle with him. And now he's being nice and he can actually talk normally to me. And I'm like, all right, are we going back to exploding any second now? Or is this your new you? Because I'm having a hard time adapting to the new you because you were teaching me otherwise all year long, like all my life, basically. So I'm having a hard time with basically adapting to him being nice to me and him being not nice to the rest of the family. Like, it was always the other way around, and I felt kind of left out. But honestly, right now, I do feel good about that. I do feel good about that. Well, Tina, just do whatever feels right. I mean, it's at the middle of the night. Maybe get some sleep. Otherwise, do some reading. Maybe do some little bit of cleaning or rearranging things in your room. Do whatever feels right for you, you know? I also will be watching a little bit of TV in the first sprint, just because that's how I start my morning. So, of course, I'm sticking to my morning routine. All right. So I see you guys in 60. Hold on, I need to get this started and I will be back in 60. Okay, I am a little bit late. I just finished half of my morning hygiene routine. I had to swish around coconut oil for about 20 minutes and then I water floss since 2 days now or 3 days because I wanted to try out something new to care for my teeth a little bit more. And then I just finished brushing my teeth as well, right after I was done with water flossing. And the next step would be to wash my face and put on some sun lotion because I wear sunscreen every single day, no matter if it's winter or summer, just because it is like a moisturizer for your face and it's really good. So I really like putting it on, even though I hate wearing sunscreen. But you know, there's something things that you need to do that you can't really stop doing, or like things that you should care about and do every single day, although you hate it. So I just update the podcast progress that I made. I listened for I think 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more than 20 minutes. So honestly, the morning was quite interesting so far. So I finished my coffee, didn't eat anything, although I wanted to have breakfast, but I decided to have my coffee. Then I'm going to do my morning hygiene routine. Then I have to wait for about 30 minutes because of the fluoride that's in your toothpaste. And then I will eat later on. I also prepared a fire downstairs, or at least I tried. I need to check if it actually worked. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it's really different every single time, and you can't really know if it actually worked or not. But I need to check downstairs in a few minutes to see if the fire is actually burning or not, and maybe have to redo it. And as of right now, I'm going to continue my routine, wash my face, and then I will prepare myself a tea and hopefully find something for breakfast. Now, let me know what you guys are reading or listening today. I hope that I will finish this podcast episode today so that I can start a new one and just get my morning done that way. So, I see you guys in another 60 minutes. Um, we're gonna skip the break and we're gonna start for the next hour. So, I see you guys in 60 minutes. Welcome back. I did a lot of different things during this sprint. I had finished breakfast. I also finished my skincare routine and did everything that I needed to finish for my morning routine. It is still really, really cold in this house, and for some reason, sometimes it feels like it's getting colder with like every minute. Sometimes it's warm, sometimes it gets colder for some reason, and then it's back to warmer. I don't know why this is the case, but it is weird. So I'm thinking about doing one more sprint. I actually finished this episode that I was listening to, so we're gonna update this because it's done. And yeah, I feel like I was really productive with finishing the episode, doing my skincare routine, and having breakfast. I also had my cup of tea for the breakfast part, and I managed to add another few slices of wood to the oven downstairs. The fire is finally burning, and therefore, hopefully, the house will be warm soon so that it is not as cold as it is right now, because I hate it. I hate it when it's so cold, and I feel like when my parents are coming back, either today or tomorrow, and we have to go back to our rooms, it is going to be so cold in my room. I don't think I can actually spend a day in that room because it's actually so cold. You can't even sit there without freezing. So there's not an option for me to use this room as I normally would because it is so cold. You freeze as soon as you stop walking around or stop moving, and there's just no way I can sit there and watch TV or sit in my reading corner and read in that room. Hopefully my parents can fix the heating system that is still not working, because I don't have access to an oven in my room. I only have a heater, and since the heating system in the house does not work anymore, it's actually not possible to use my room other than for sleeping. And I also feel like I need to put the heating blanket that I currently use on the couch. It's like a blanket that you put underneath you, so you lay on top of that blanket and it's heating up your bed. And I feel like I have to actually use this in my room for my bed, just because there is no way I can sleep up there when it's that cold. I mean, normally I sleep with the window open, so it's definitely not an issue for me to sleep in the cold. However, everything else, like every surface in that room, is so cold, also the floor and everything, that you can't possibly be in there without freezing, no matter how thick you are wearing clothes, and no matter how you try staying warm, it's actually not working. So I feel like I need to find a solution for this, and I need to find something that will help me not to freeze up there. And so maybe I just have to use that heating blanket for the night, because it will be cold and I can't really fix that. And yeah, hopefully the heating system is working as soon as my parents got back, and my dad is taking a look at it, so hopefully it will be fixed so that the rest of the house can be warm again. Otherwise, I don't really think I'm able to spend any time in that room as long as it takes for the heating system to be back to working. And therefore, I will only sleep in that room which also means that I have to spend time downstairs while everyone else is downstairs as well. And that normally means that you don't really have time for yourself. And my mom sometimes or very often believes that whenever I just come down the stairs to spend some time downstairs, I'm definitely here to help her in the house doing chores. Although I want to come downstairs because it's too cold up there and I just want to relax. But she's always interrupting me, and therefore I get aggressive because she's annoying, she's stressing me, and I don't have a single minute to just sit down and do nothing. So it could happen that the next few days, depending on when they're coming back, are either going to be really stressful for me because there's no way I can just sit down for a minute and do nothing, or they will be good because they'll leave me alone and, my sister has to do all of the other stuff because she didn't do anything. So we will see how the next day is going to look like, and, what will happen and if the heating system is going to be back to working. But as of right now, like I said, I finished my morning routine. I have to go outside within the next sprint or right after the next sprint to take care of the farm chores. But as of right now, I feel like I do a podcast recording. I have noticed that the last episode that I recorded in between Christmas and New Year's Eve doesn't really make sense anymore. And therefore, a lot of things changed. And basically, most of the things that I mentioned in that episode are not even relevant anymore. So I don't feel good about publishing this episode. So I might just have to record it again in order to stay on track of the things that are actually taking place right now, so that it feels like a good episode to me, because I'm not just talking about things that are not relevant anymore, but I'm talking about things that are happening right now or are about to happen in the next few days. So I might just re-record that episode to feel better about the whole podcast thing and be able to publish that episode instead. But I don't know. Maybe I do that in the next sprint. Maybe I just sit down and relax for a while, or maybe I just end up doing something completely else. I do need to wash a few more things in the washing machine, and so maybe I just do that, but I don't know with what I should start. So I see you guys in the next sprint. Let's just skip the break and start the next sprint, and I see you guys in an hour.